Well, hello, my fellow procrastinators, and are those people who just really enjoy listening to a story time. Welcome back to my channel. Here on Wednesdays, I fold laundry while I talk your ears off in hopes that I am keeping you company while you do a chore that you've been procrastinating. I literally hate folding laundry. I will say the one thing I hate more than folding laundry is putting back all the laundry that I have folded and going to the gas station, but that's a whole nother story. Anyways, I have found that Wednesdays here on my channel have actually made folding laundry fun and efficient, and I do it on time. So good job, us. If you just like to watch these videos and listen to the story time, that's totally cool too. But if you are doing a chore that you just kind of dread while you're listening to this, let me know in the comments below. I love reading those comments. They're so fun and encouraging, and yay. Okay, anyways, I'm gonna dive in. I don't have that much laundry, just one load, which is a small load for me. But I will dive into my story. You clicked on the video. Today we're talking about my experience with my first tattoo. What's so crazy is I never really talked about getting a tattoo. This tattoo is 3 years old. It's on my ankle. I'll insert a picture here because lifting up my foot at this moment in time, well, I guess I could do it. Come on, Lisa, commit to the video. All right, here it is. There she blows. That's my first and only tattoo for the moment. I am vacillating on whether or not I'm going to get another one. We'll save that to the end of this. But basically, let me give you the breakdown. I like watching these videos of people's tattoo stories. I also really enjoy the ones that I regret this tattoo. Not that I want anyone to regret their choices, specifically a tattoo, but it is kind of interesting and does sort of put some gravity to the situation. I really was not flippant about getting this. I put it off, or rather never felt the need to get a tattoo until I got this one. So I will preface that with that. Yes, girl, get in here. You gonna help me fold? You gonna help me fold? I don't blame you. Folding laundry sucks. Anyways, so growing up, you know, I was raised Jewish. I am Jewish, and in our tradition, it is traditionally sacrilegious to have a tattoo, and you are technically not supposed to be able to be buried in a Jewish cemetery if you have a tattoo. I don't know how those rules have changed, but that's how I always grew up, so it never really dawned on me that I would ever get a tattoo. It just wasn't in my mind. And listen, I respect everyone's opinions on the subject. I am not here to judge. I am not here to tell you, you know, this is the right way or that's the wrong way, etc., etc. And I think we've kind of cultivated a really nice community here where we all kind of respect each other's decisions and beliefs, etc. So anyways, I just never really thought about it. And then I would say maybe 10 years ago, it started getting popular. Tattoos started getting really popular. And now, you all know, tattoos are so popular, especially the single needle, almost like doodles. So many people have them. And it's almost become, in my opinion, too popular that I don't want to do it because I like to be the anti-trend. But anyways, reverse, when I was growing up, most tattoos I knew of and saw were on bikers, hardcore bikers, totally out of my element. It just wasn't something that sort of was in my realm. And so for so many reasons that I just didn't really consider one. So then, like I said, 10 years ago, they kind of started popping up again, specifically for my generation, for my peers, and I found a little bit of an interest in them. And for a really long time, I, for some reason, had this connection to cherry blossoms. This is why you really need to be careful, okay, with tattoos, because I don't even remember what my connection with cherry blossoms was, but I was like, I need a cherry blossom tattoo. I never got one, thank God, because I still don't have any understanding of why I thought that would have been a connection to me. So think through your choices. Think through your choices. But I never obviously followed through on any of that and just never did it. For another reason is like needles are really scary to me. I don't like going to the doctor. I hate giving blood. It's a whole to-do. So the idea of like volunteering to have needles stabbed into your body sounds very unappealing. By the way, I feel like I have something in my tooth right now. Do I? Okay. Thank you everyone for going on that journey with me. So yeah, I just never did it. And then let's see, I'm trying to like track when it really became a truth to me. I mean, I think my inner circle started getting them. A lot of my girlfriends were getting these gorgeous like single needle ones. A lot of them were like, you know, names of their kids, handwritten, or it's like really important dates, like their wedding date or whatever the case may be. And I started being like, oh, I actually like really, I like that. I like the look of it. I like the dedication of it. Like there's something very beautiful and spiritual and special about it. And so my mind kind of got turned back around away from the cherry blossom thing where I was just like, cherry blossoms are cool, but like more rather to like, hey, this is like a really nice like way to like brand yourself. I mean, it is a branding, but like a dedication to something. So cut to Jeff and I are dating, and I mean, maybe I've talked about this before, but like I knew pretty immediately. He claims he knew faster than I did. He said on the first date, but I knew like very shortly after we started dating that this was like my person. One of those like, they say when you know, and I knew. And so there was no doubt in my mind that Jeff was gonna be my like lifelong partner. So there was that. Then we decided to go on this trip. We had been to Jamaica together. We did that pretty quickly after we started dating, which a lot of people thought was crazy at the time, but in our heads it made sense. And also like, I love to travel, and so the fact that I was able to travel with Jeff so early on, and we were able to like acknowledge and see that we're good traveling partners and we both enjoy traveling and we complement each other on travels very well, that was like a really good sign, and I feel like that moved our relationship along even faster and stronger. And so we went on that trip, and then we went on a bunch of like small trips, but then we went to Hawaii. We went to where did we go? Oahu, and then we went to Kauai. And this was, I think, a year before we got engaged, which is why we wanted to get married in Kauai, because we had such a connection to it from this trip. So we went on this trip, and it was kind of, I felt like it was like the seal the deal trip. You know what I mean? Like we were both like, all right, I'm pretty sure this is our partner, but that was like our final, like, yeah, that was like the sealing of the like, we're gonna get engaged trip. You know what I mean? We didn't get engaged on that trip, but I feel like that was the trip that kind of like, Jeff, correct me if I'm wrong. I feel like that's kind of the trip that really put us like over the edge in terms of like confidence that this was the right partnership. So Jeff had a few tattoos before we went on that trip, and one of the many reasons why I love Jeff is that Jeff is a very sentimental king, and he takes symbolism and all that stuff like very much to heart. He's very, I was gonna say he's very empathetic, but he's also very like, yeah, sentimental. Sorry, I want to make sure this is in focus. This thing keeps going in and out of focus, driving me nuts. Anyways, he's a very sentimental guy, and I love him so much for that. And so all of his tattoos have like really deep meanings to them. None of them were haphazard. It's not like he had some crazy like frat, you know, tattoo on his butt or anything. Like his are small, his are meaningful, and all of them he got whilst on travels. So we're in Hawaii, and he must have been feeling the same I was feeling, in that like this is kind of the trip that kind of kicks off our life together, and so, or our next phase of our life together. And so at some point, I think we're at a dinner, he pulls out, you know, you guys have seen, we like write each other letters all the time or notes all the time. There's Post-its like in the back of like, I'm actually shocked there's not one in here. In the back of like every video, there's like Post-its on Post-its on Post-its. We write each other letters all the time. Jeff's love language is words of affirmation, so he likes to write the letters, but I've also acknowledged that that's his like you know, love language. Have you guys taken the love language like quiz thing? It's very interesting. We can talk about that in another video if you're interested. Anyways, so there's notes everywhere and it's special, and I feel like it's a really nice way that we communicate outside of actually communicating. So he pulls out this letter at like dinner, and it is one of the notes I had written him, and there's a heart on the note. And so he had brought it with him. He also took a few photocopies of it to make sure that he had it right. And he was like, I want to get this like tattooed on me. Like, this means a lot to me, and I want a piece of you on me. And it was like, not like, I don't know, you know, sometimes like these gestures when you're dating someone feel like really forced or weird or like overkill. It just felt like 100% natural and so sweet, and like the fact that he carried it with him and I had no idea. I was just like so touched by the whole thing, and he was so matter of fact about it. And so that was the plan. He was gonna get this tattoo, and he started researching different tattoo artists in Kauai. It's like, oh my God, that's awesome. So naturally, after a couple of drinks, I was like, okay, yeah, maybe I'll get one. Go ahead, draw some hearts for me. Because I didn't bring a note. Like, I hadn't gone there. Like I said, I never really like wholeheartedly considered getting a tattoo. I like them. And like I said, my friends were starting to get them and I really liked them on them. But I just, you know, just wasn't there. So I have him like draw a couple of hearts. I'm like, this is fun. Okay, we'll cut to the end of our trip because you can't get a tattoo at the beginning of the trip. Otherwise you can't go in the pool or the ocean or this and that. So it's like last day and Jeff's like, okay, I'm ready. Like, I want to go. I found this place, and it happens to be this really like fun studio that's across the street from our favorite restaurant on the island, and like we're familiar with that area, and we're like, let's just go take a look. So we walk on over to the place, and it's like, I'll insert a picture if I can find one. It's like a very like Hawaiian art inspired place. It's really cute, super clean. It's obviously very popular because there's like a bunch of people in line to like get a slot to go in. We hadn't made an appointment, and clearly no one else had made an appointment. It seemed kind of like a touristy place. And so we inquire for Jeff, and they're like, yeah, just like come back in like a half an hour. Okay, we'll come back in a half an hour. So we go to get some food, and Jeff was like, do you want to do it? And I was like, honestly, like, I'm just not sure. Like, I have the heart picked out, but I just like, I don't know, like, I'm scared, and also like, do I want to? Like, I just don't know. And he wasn't pressuring me like in the slightest. He was like, just, you know, just come along, check it out, whatever. If you want to, you want to. If not, no big deal. So it's Jeff's turn. First and foremost, before it's Jeff's turn, the guy before us is like such a tourist, and he gets like, okay, there's like tons of chickens on Kauai. I think probably in most of the Hawaiian islands, there's just like chickens roaming free. Sorry, I don't mean to look at myself in the thing, but I just want to make sure I'm focused. There's just like chickens like everywhere, just like roaming free chickens. And so it's kind of like iconic specifically to Kauai. And so this guy before us, who's there with like his whole family, like requests a chicken on his ass, no joke. And you could tell like the artist was like, oh, okay, like they just like kind of did it. Felt like, you know, it's like, we'll do it, but it felt a little insulting to the artistry. Anyways, I wonder if that guy regrets the chicken on his butt. Nevertheless, it's Jeff's turn, and this is like the end of the day when they're kind of on the verge of closing. So Jeff goes up and he gets it started on his chest, and the guy that's doing his work is like so nice. He had just moved in town, I want to say from like Boston. His girlfriend is now working at the front desk. They're just like this lovely couple. No one else is there. It's really comfortable. It's really kind of like spiritual and beautiful, and Jeff is having a lovely time doing it, and it just felt like, I wanted to say home. It didn't feel like home. It just felt like right. So Jeff's done, and he's like, do you want one? And I was like, in that moment, without hesitation, I was like, yeah, let's do it. Like, which is so not like me, you know? Like, I overthink everything or whatever. But it just felt like the right moment. And I knew if I didn't do it, I would regret not doing it. So I hopped in. And, well, so I gave them, like, the picture. At first, they were like, oh, you want the same thing? And they were gonna, like, give me the same one that I drew. I was like, no, he drew me one. And they loved that because they were, like, I don't know if they were newly engaged, but they were like kind of like our age, and they were kind of in the same position in terms of like their relationship. And so, yeah, I decided to get it here on my ankle because I thought, you know, I still do some acting stuff and I didn't want to be like too like in your face. I also knew for my like own like, I don't know, for my own like likey, and I didn't want something that I would like look at every day. Not that I don't love it, but I was like, you know, let me just put it somewhere that's like a little inconspicuous. So I did it. I got it done. I'll insert another picture of me getting it done, and it hurt really, really bad, and I'm a wimp, but apparently that's a pretty tough place to get it. You're just like really sensitive down there, and I kept being like, are we done yet? And he did it. And then afterwards, I looked in the mirror, I was like, oh my God, I really love it. I thought it was really special. Again, I didn't even think twice about the fact that this was like a Jeff tattoo. It just like made sense, which that's how you know you're making the right decision. Also, that's just like how you know I married the right person. Didn't have any doubts about that. But then afterwards, like, hey, we paid, and then we left, and then afterwards I was like, oh my God, I felt like so dizzy and crazy, like the amount of adrenaline and a little bit of pain, the whole thing, and I was like, we gotta go eat and get a drink. So then we went across the street to this dope tapas place, and we had food and drink, and then I was fine. And then we like wrapped, well, they were already wrapped, but then we put like bandanas on them, and we flew home the next day. And I haven't had any problems with it. It healed really nicely. I will say, we both like kind of laugh a little bit. God bless us like artist, but it was a little bit sloppy. Like mine doesn't bleed as much as Jeff's bled. Not actual blood, but like the ink kind of spread a little bit. It's a little bit sloppy, but I love it for what it is because it means so much to me, and like the whole experience around it, like just the search, like I wouldn't say like the bravery, there's a little bit of that, like just kind of one of those things that I always wanted to do but was afraid to do. So like it made me feel brave and accomplished, and like, you know, I did the thing, but also like just the confidence that came with the fact that this was a heart that Jeff drew. Like I think that went a long way for me. So I love it. I wish it was more of a fine line in like actually I don't regret this, but if I were, let's jump now. If I were to ever get another one, it would definitely be one of those like super fine line ones. I just like the look of them better. They're cleaner, they're crisper. I just like them, but who knows, you know, trends are always changing in terms of the tattoo stuff. Like color tattoos, like bright colors were a thing for a while, and then black and white, and now like these thin lines, you just don't really know. So you just kind of have to go, in my suggestion, if I may, since I've had one tattoo, so I'm an expert now, is to make sure that it just has a lot of meaning behind it. Whatever it is, it better have a lot of meaning, because trends will change. It might look different, it might fade, but if you can remember exactly where you were, why you got it, and what it all represents, then it's definitely worth it. So will I get another one? I have some ideas. I'm kind of sometimes itching for another one, but I just know myself, when it's meant to be, it will be. We were in Hawaii for our honeymoon, and Jeff got another tattoo, and it was like the most beautiful place. The chick was awesome, like the setting was right, and his turned out so dope, but I just wasn't there yet, and I was like, you know what, I'm not gonna, like, I would love nothing more than my next tattoo be with this woman in this place, but like I just couldn't get there with what I wanted, where I wanted it, and why I wanted it, so I decided not to. I know that's not everyone's theory, but that's how it works for me. So that is my story of my tattoo. I hope you guys enjoy this. I'd love to hear your tattoo stories, good, bad, ugly, and beautiful. Let me know in the comments below. And next week, let me know what you want me to talk about. I had mentioned in a video on Monday that I was a teacher for years, and some of you were like shocked by that. So if you want to hear that story, let me know. Otherwise, I am open to new ideas from you all. I think you're beautiful. I hope that you guys got some folding done. Oh wait, I was chatting so much I didn't even finish my folding. Oh my god, I thought I had. I hope that you got some sort of a chore done. You know what chore I need to do is clean out the fridge. I've been putting off that one. I'm slowly also working through cleaning out my closet. If you guys didn't know, I have a POSHMARK, and so I've been posting a lot on POSHMARK. I have a pile of stuff to take pictures of and post, but definitely follow me on there. And yeah, I guess that's it. I love you guys, and see you tomorrow. All right, bye.